I'm sitting here waiting for the client to show up. So, reading for a client, and we are allowed to tape it and broadcast it. So, hoping they show up on time because I don't like late people. It's an annoyance of mine. Like, even in my own life, I don't like late people. So, we'll give it a few minutes and just chill. And since it's fall, we can have a message while we're waiting. Of course, Samhain's coming up, which is always super fun for all of us pagan fall people. But fall has turned, and so fall can get hard mentally for people, especially people that are very sun oriented. So make sure and keep yourself in check when fall comes and make sure you're doing okay, because it can affect people negatively, and we don't want that to happen. And there's also, just self energy checks that you can do. So this is considering yourself, right? You just go through, literally start up here and start scanning down and feel your energy and feel like if anything is off, if anything needs to be adjusted, if all the way down, like clear down through your toes. If you do that on a regular basis, it's easier to sense when something's off. And there are times when things happen, trust me, it has happened to me, where just crap happens and you have no control. Looks like a guest has arrived. So we'll give them a few seconds. But it does happen, and then you call for backup is what you do. Because there are always things that will go blow your mind. I keep looking in.
Hey,
Hey, can you hear me? See
yeah,
me?
I can hear you. Yep, I
Okay.
literally just got home from work. How are you?
Awesome. Well, did work go okay today?
Yep, absolutely.
Awesome. I like that. I like when people can go to work and come home and not feel like that, just like, "Oh, I hate my life," you know.
Yeah, yeah. No, I
Yeah.
understand. I'm
Yeah.
always on the go, so
Okay. That makes sense. Well, I have your reading all written up in a PDF that I will email to you.
okay,
But I'm gonna pull it up here too. And just to remind you, I am recording this. Is that
okay.
still okay with you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. There's nothing overly personal in this. So if
Okay.
you wanted to go deeper, I would not record something like that, if that makes
Right.
sense. Yeah.
Yep.
But I found out a lot about you. Like, I was like,
Uh,
whoa, like, go Desmond. And I was like, okay, this, and even the historian nerd in me, like, I'm a history nerd. I was just like,
right.
oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Yeah. So I got super stoked. So
Nice.
I know this is on Zoom, but it's just easier for me because I'm used to teaching on Zoom, and then I could share the screen and I kind of know what I'm doing. This
Okay.
is just more for you. This is kind of like the homepage of my website, like about me, whatever, to
Nice.
contact, whatever. So this is what will be sent to you, but we're going to
Okay.
go over it at the same time. So, yeah. So this is when I started it. So I start slow, um, and
Okay.
this is kind of the process, which is on the first page. I've already seen you, so what I asked from you was your full name and birth date.
Okay.
Um, and that helps me go into people's records and learn a lot about them. So that's how I like to get readings on people and take my time before they come to me, is
Right.
how I work best.
Okay.
I can read people on the fly, but it's like I don't like the pressure of like that,
Yeah.
what is it? And then it's like, whoa, I like to
Yep.
like feel it out and what's really going on. So this is how I do it.
Okay.
So I started it on the 25th, and then, it took us some time to like get this scheduled, because of life things and whatever. But
Of
here we
course.
are. So if you don't want me to show your birth date, I'll just roll it on up there.
Okay.
But your numerology number is 1, is what your birth date calculates down to. That's very significant. And you're also a Scorpio, so you have very uh it's dynamic and energetic, but stern at the same time traits.
Right.
Like you're not a mean person, you're not a cruel person, but if somebody tries to like cross your line, you're like, okay, let's go. You know,
That's
that's
accurate.
yeah. So, um, I just got I'm not an astrologer, so I don't get a lot into astrology. This is pretty much all I do with it is just what's the numerology and association. So with the 1 and the Scorpio, you have the power within your own hands to create whatever you want. You're very independent, you're very confident. You always like new beginnings, like what can I tackle next?
Right.
And definitely freedom. And all of these traits, sorry, I do have to take sips of water while I talk.
Nope. Take your time. I'd rather you do that than get tired.
Well, I'm like, people say it's unprofessional. I'm like, I don't care. I talk it a lot. I gotta get a drink of water.
No, do what you gotta do. Whatever makes you comfortable, do what you gotta do.
So a lot of this will come into to play a little bit down the road. But so far, would you say that would be you? Or
Absolutely.
if I am off ever in any of this, I am not kidding. Literally say, no, girl, you're full of shit. Okay.
I got you. No, you're accurate. So far, it's spot on.
Okay. No, but I'm dead serious.
No, I
It's
believe you.
okay.
I got you.
Okay. So then I got into your psychic gifts and abilities. Um, and all of this starts to tie together as we kind of go down the slides here. The slides, that makes me sound so old. We're gonna have a slideshow presentation. Remember like the little click thing. Like, oh good gosh. Um, okay. Sorry.
No,
So
you're good.
you are a wisdom keeper in this time from ancient times throughout all of your lives. I get into some of your past lives and things on down,
Okay.
but you're a wisdom keeper in this life as well.
Right.
Um, you're like a poet. You're very good with words, with phrases. Like, I can't think of I cannot quote this phrase literally, and forgive me, it's Martin Luther King, and I'm not trying to butcher this, but he was being asked about the FBI following him, and what he thought about the FBI. And
Right.
he very eloquently was like, well, they're very tactical, they're very organized, they seem to get places fast and get things done, and this and that. And he's like, but for whatever reason, we don't see that. And I'm not sure why they're not using those skills that they have. Like, I'm not sure how he phrased it exactly, but it was a
Right.
total burn. But he was very eloquent in the way that he said it. You have that ability
Okay.
to be very poetic and very phrasy and very, yeah. I don't know if it's musical. I don't know if it's just words, but it's there.
Right.
Um, and then I put down you're a seer. So you're clairvoyant, clairaudience. You basically could see stuff with your human eyes, but you shut it out. Sorry if I hit my microphone. You
It's
shut it
okay.
out because you don't want to see it. But
Right.
you can. It's there for sure.
Okay.
Um and you can communicate between dimensions, which I'll get to in a bit, which is part of why you cannot shut it out. It's
Right.
there no matter what how you're trying to shut it out, it's not working.
Right.
Um no, there we go down the list here. Very musical, good with tones or frequencies. Um like there's certain tones like Metatron's tone is the Archangel Metatron is like 999. If you just play that tone, like I can hear that tone when like a singer hits it, and I'm like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like I think you
Right.
can hear good things like that. Like in a choir, you would hear if somebody was off key, you'd be like, it's that person right there, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Um, you're definitely an empath, so you can read people, read the room, you feel what other people feel, and that's hard to block out. And you have great compassion for people because you're an empath. So you have to learn to love bubble yourself as an empath. I talk about that on my Instagram. I do reels about it all the time because being an empath is like the hardest thing in the world sometimes.
Right.
Um, This one I do want you to cue in on right away. Cats in particular have an attraction to you. Is that correct or no?
Interesting. I never paid attention to that before. Cats, huh? Hmm. I'm not sure because I'm not usually around too many cats, so that's interesting. I mean, I do.
Anybody's random friend cat or stray cat or like are you
Hmm.
like attracted to like imagery of like anything about?
I mean, I do come across cats a lot. This is true.
Okay.
I do come across a lot of them. Like I don't have no any pet cats or anything, but I do come across a lot of them. Like at random.
Okay. Good to know.
Yep.
And what do you, just out of curiosity, what do you
Right.
feel when like, well, you're not like allergic or anything, right? Have you ever interacted with a cat?
Yeah, I've interacted with some, but I'm not allergic to any animals. So
Okay, like how does being around a cat make you feel?
I'm fine. It doesn't affect me. I'm fine.
Not like, I mean, like, do you feel anything on like a higher level or a connection to, or is it just like, it's a critter, whatever?
To me, it's just a no animal. To me, like I don't like feel like any type of like energy wise, like negative or anything like that. To me, it's just like an animal, like a cat in passing. That's what I feel like to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Moving on.
Okay.
Okay. Very scared of all your gifts. Like you're like, woo, this is like like just, you don't want too much. She's like, woo, like pump the brakes, kind of thing.
Right. Right.
But they're there, so you can't hide. Um, spirit that came through, because I always ask if there's anybody that wants to talk to the people that come. Um, it felt very grandmotherish energy, but very stern at the same time. It's just like literally was saying, like, just what do you think you're doing? Like, or like, in that tone, just like that, get your butt on the move kind of tone, that
Right.
grandma tone. Um, she had a lot of gifts as well. So I don't know if she's like a like grandma right now, grandma or like great grandma or whatever, but somewhere um she's trying to move you along in your gifts. She's one of your guides, one of your mentors. She
Okay.
says she knows you the most. That was very
Mm.
specific. The most. She was very
Okay.
specific about that word. And then I got a name of Georgia. I'm like, are you trying to say that's where you're from or that's your name? And that was part of her name.
Mm.
Um, ooh, okay. Sorry, now I'm picking up something else about Miss Georgia because I had a past life as a slave. She was the latter part of people being enslaved.
Right.
So she's a bit distant, but she had gifts, lots of gifts. And yeah. So you'll have to feel her out and, kind of picture that kind of time period and call on her. And um, she kept saying that she ain't no good, like, as in towards the mother of your children. Like, there's something she doesn't like that's happening.
Okay.
And then she said she took everything from him. So I don't know if that meant like your confidence, like your that kind of thing, or financial. I didn't get
Mhm.
anything past those two statements. It was just kind of left as like that's between the two of you, and
Right.
I left it there.
Okay.
Um, anything resonate or you know not resonate, whatever. There.
Um. Well, we did with me and the mother of my kids. We haven't been together for almost 6.5, 7 years. Things did end bad. My family did warn me about this individual, but when you're in love with somebody, you just see past like certain negative things, and eventually it bit me in the ass. But it took me some time to get over the situation. But as the years have went on, I'm in a much better, healthier mental state. So
Yeah. So that makes sense why now she's like, just what do you think you're doing? She's just like, come on, let's go. Get up.
yeah,
Start listening to me.
yep.
So you'll have to make contact with Miss Georgia. And if she was an enslaved person, she definitely deserves the title of whatever the hell she wants to give herself. That's all I gotta say.
Right,
Goddess Georgia, whatever. Yeah.
right.
Okay. So I came back to universal guides, and this one is specific.
Okay.
And it came up because of part of the past lives thing first. And then I was like, oh, and then it kind of boiled down to this. So Archangel Metatron. He wants the earth, the people. Sorry if you hear that. That is my bird, and I cannot stop him from saying hello and making
No
funky
worries.
noises. Um, he wants this earth to move forward, and he wants these people that know how to do it or can be activated to do it to get on board. And
Right.
you are definitely one of those people. And he is really wants to make connection with you. So we'll get into Metatron's cube and this point. At this point, I put in here, I asked what other guides you have, and then I was told it's for you to discover them. It's part of you
Okay.
unlocking yourself.
Right.
And this is kind of why. So, when I went into your Akashic records, your alien lineage is Arcturian. And I was like, oh, okay. We're going to go big or go home. Okay.
Right.
So, I put kind of some history in here. The Arcturians would be the ones that look kind of the most human, but have like the bluish gray colored skin. But their eyes are bigger than ours. I, I
Okay.
am I am part of this too. I'm just other things as well, but like um that's why these readings you like get more and more as you go along or as you discover it yourself. If you get to go on the path yourself, like you'll just keep discovering more.
Right.
So um they look very, I'll let you read this on your own. It's just a little history about them, but
Okay.
when they present themselves, they look very like light, like an orb of light, very bright light. They just emanate light because they've reached this higher plane of like, it's hard to explain. They're not emotionless like a narcissist, but like they've reached this higher plane to where there's literally no conflict between any of them. So when you have contact with them, it kind of comes across like they are aloof a bit, but it's just because they're up here on this
Right.
other level, and we are not. But they're healers and guiders and are part of the Galactic Federation, which is something we can get into another day if you want to. But
Right.
um, yeah, you are from them, and they are pretty much nomads at this point throughout all the universes and galaxies, and they have a huge presence on Earth to try and change things around. They want Earth to succeed. They need Earth to succeed. So I keep reminding people that the next age of Aquarius is coming in 2025.
Okay.
There's a reason why everything is getting so crazy and hectic right now when
Right.
people's like lost their minds because the next age of awakening is coming. So 2024 is going to be a huge time for everybody to just stay focused on keep raising your vibrations and keep getting to know the next level of yourself and the next level and who am I, and
Right.
staying there. So um like I've gotten to the point where I've gone and I've like been on like a ship with them, um and just saw them just walking around and doing their thing, and was just kind of saying hi because I can like astral project, and that's all. I was just like, kind of what's up. But they do come to me when I need like help or healing or whatever, so you can just call them. They know who they are. They're the Octurians. They know who they are.
Right.
Just and then get familiar and then like quiet down and get familiar with their energy. And once you start to not be afraid of your gifts, You'll like literally, they'd like to get close to you and they can communicate telepathically. So start, don't, this is part of your lineage. So don't start to think you're crazy if you're literally having conversations back and forth with something in your head, like
Right.
just like we're talking right now, because you will.
Okay.
And that's them. So pay attention to that and what that energy feels like. And you have to be calm and be in a good state of mind. They don't like chaos, they don't like anger and all that stuff. They'll just be like, okay, we'll just come back later. Bye. So
Right.
if you've got something around that's around and you're like in a pissed off mood, it's not that it's not good, basically, because you got a lot of gifts.
Hmm.
So this is kind of a couple different pictures for you, just in a little bit more history, but they're here to assist humans so that we're in the third dimension. That's why we call it 3D, to help
Right.
us raise to the fourth dimension. Um, I've been able to go there. And then you don't want to come back to
Right.
this, but um, they are protectors and guiders of the higher consciousness. So they want to keep those vibrations raised and not down, if that makes
Right.
sense.
It
So
does.
you're part of that. Now, there's a reason I asked you about cats, and
Okay.
I see people's spirit animals. And I wanted to double check this like multiple times, multiple times. This is why it took me so long to finish your reading, because I was like, okay, I got to double check this because, and then after, as we go down, you'll find out the history nerd part of me when I was like, just like literally shitting myself. I'm like, oh my God, he was that guy. Okay. So this is your spirit animal,
Nice. That's who I always wanted to be my spirit animal too. Dope.
but literally the male. Um, so you asked me about love, and
Yep.
I literally put that. I mean, her spirit animal doesn't have to be a lioness per se, but her core has to be like a lioness. Like lionesses are very like independent, doing their thing, got it going on. And then when, it's time for all the family to come together, like, all right, everybody come on along. But that
Right.
you are very free person as well. So your mate has to be too. So
Right.
that's why I wrote a lioness, but it would actually probably be like your twin flame or soulmate is a lioness.
Okay.
I did not dig into if that person is on Earth, because there was so much coming after this that I didn't, but I will later if you want me to.
Okay.
Um so yeah, you're very fierce and independent, on of what I was saying about her on her own, because you value your independence so much. So just like the lion, you're a lover of life and earth. You know that you have power, but you don't need to display it. It's just
Nope.
known. And that's the way lions act. Like unless you like actually fuck with them in some way, they know who they are. They don't have to, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah. And then when I was talking about Metatron, he came up after this. So, a past life of yours, and I was trying to see whether you were the poor person that was forced to like dig these up, or if you were the person like in charge, or what this past life was. But it kind of got blocked off because the important part of it was the shape. So in the 1800s is when diamond mining took off in the Congo. I have past life connections to the Congo.
Okay.
Um, so That's why I wrote, I haven't gotten the entire story here yet. Um, but you need to pay attention when you see the geometric shape of a diamond, which
Okay.
is the one that's all colorful and, you know, that is a geometric shape of a diamond. It is your guides and things talking to you.
Right.
And then it gets into Metatron's cube, which then brought me to Metatron because the shape of the diamond is part of Metatron's cube, and Metatron's cube is the one with the circles. And I use that a lot. I have a room that I go into deep, deep, deep meditation in, and that
Okay.
is on my wall and, different things to like, but um you'll have there is some things in here on Archangel Metatron, but not much. I need you to Google him, and then you'll
Okay.
understand more about him. So
Got you.
I'm gonna let you Google him because he's very Googleable, and then you'll understand what he can do for you.
Right.
So past lives continued. I saw this one and I was like, oh my God, oh my gosh. Okay. So this is Göbekli Tepe. Um, you were there to provide knowledge to the people. Like I said, you're a wisdom keeper, you're a knowledge keeper. And in one of my past lives that's also connected to the universe, I helped link all these ancient sites with the ley lines. Like the entire world was linked, literally. So it was intelligent. There was intelligent technology. There was communication. The entire world was linked through these sites.
Right.
You were part of that, and you were part of this. Now, this is a more recent discovery, but it is the oldest megalithic site now discovered on Earth and dates human sites like this back even further. And archaeologists are like, what the fuck? And then, like, alien people like me are like, and we're like, So, um, I put in here, I've read it. The dude's on Ancient Aliens a lot, but he wrote a book called The Cygnus Key.
Okay.
It's about this place and the people that came from the skies, you, to help build it and the history of it. And I've read it because I'm linked to it as well, not as directly to this place as you are.
Okay.
Um, but it's also very connected to lions. And so within these stone megaliths are lions.
Right.
Um, and then this was just like a, you know, throwing in there what it would have looked like, blah, blah, blah. And then this is the one I was just like, oh my fuck. Because I, yeah, I know all about all the discoveries in Saqqara, Egypt. And I was trying to figure out, I'm like, oh, hey, but what is with this thing with lions? Because it was really intense and blah, blah, blah. And I kept going on. And you were Wati. I'm probably not saying his name like an Egyptian would, of course, but he was buried in Saqqara. He was a priest, and, here kid was keeper of wisdom, even in this life. His tomb was kept intact. It was amazing. There's a lot of like documentaries you can watch about them discovering him and his tomb and everything, but I literally saw you. What happened first was before I came to him was I literally saw like a bunch of mummified cats. And I'm like, okay, the only people I know that freaking did that was Egyptians. So what are you trying to tell me here? Like, what's with the mummified
Right.
cats? cats. And I just kept seeing them like down in this like thing in like little square space. And I was like, I've seen that before. And it's because I saw that documentary and then I'm like, whoa. And then I went back. I had to ask the masters of the Akashic Records just to make sure. I'm like, dude, was he seriously watching? Oh my God. And it was confirmed. So this is what the tomb looks like after
Damn.
excavation. There was a lot of pits and things, but all of the reliefs and statues, and it's very beautiful. Like you're like me in the alien lineage. You worked your way down through like alien into like a little bit more of human, the next bit life a little bit more human. Like I went from like Anunnaki to being like Isis, like down from like linking all these places and being like Lyra Vega, like you're taking steps down, but you're still what you are. You still
Right.
carry all of that with you, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So there's what I saw. This is what I kept seeing in my head. I'm like, I gotta find a picture of those freaking cats. It's
Hmm.
like there's those cats. I was like, yeah, there's those mummified kitties. So yeah, even baby ones. But yeah, he had a lot of them. And he was a high priest.
Okay.
So I'll let you study that history if you want to and see if that clicks with you.
Okay.
But the cat thing just kept like tumbling and tumbling and tumbling. So
Right.
yeah. And then I just put in more here for you about Metatron's cube and who he
Okay.
is and what he can do. Um, he's basically an alien. He's not an archangel, but whatever
Right.
and whatevs. Um, so anybody that's looking for spiritual wisdom, which you are, and you need the protection, he provides that.
Right.
So what Metatron's cube, that geometric shape, it's also on like a lot of ancient Hindu buildings, and the stupas. If you look under their temples, they have the the geometric shape underneath is like Metatron's cube,
Right.
and it's sound as well. Geometric shapes are also sound, and so
Okay.
that's the sound that used to resonate to take them back to the heavens in their machines and their whatevers. So the tone for Metatron, if you want to listen to his tone, is 999. Um, you can search that out. There's like obviously like meditations and stuff with it, but like yeah.
Right.
Um, he's like right there. And he shows up to me like really young. Like he he converses with me as like he knows current life, like he's not some ancient ascended master that's gonna be like I'm above you or something. He puts himself on your level, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So he makes it really easy for your soul to just reach out and communicate with him because he knows you, because you're already like on his radar to like help the planet and help raise the vibrations.
Right.
And then the diamond, the the actual sacred geometry of the diamond represents a journey to higher understanding. So um even if it's not like a diamond, you can buy like crystals in just the geometric shape of diamonds or
Hmm.
something. That would be good for you to have around your space.
Okay.
Um, and it's pay attention to when you see a diamond of any kind
Okay.
in in a geometric form of any kind, or like, I mean, not some of these stupid rings on their fingers and jewelry, like that's like obvious, but like other
Right.
things, because they're very important for your clarity and your enlightenment, and somebody's trying to talk to you. So when you
Right.
see them, like slow down and listen. So that whole diamond story, I need to get more on. Um, yeah, and your twin flame. I didn't get into if she's here yet or not, because I'm like, yeah, she's gonna have to be like, her own girl. That one, definitely. And you can't settle for anything less than that. I can tell you that.
Okay.
Now, I just like vomited a whole bunch of information on you.
Hmm.
Questions.
Um, it's just because I love history, so it's just cool to find out about facts with the cats and Egypt and the diamond shape and just Archangel, all that stuff. It's very interesting. The crazy thing, I always wanted my spirit animal to be a lion, so it's crazy that you brought that up. I was like, what? So,
That's good because I always want to know like if I'm off or like I do like for real
right,
because I can be like I'm not who's perfect, nobody's perfect,
right.
sorry, now my bird's back there just like hello, hello. um
Mhm.
but yeah, just like my spirit animal is a raven. you know I've known it my whole life. Like I would go to Yellowstone and people would laugh at me, and because I would just be sitting in the pile of ravens that hang out by like Old Faithful, just like,
Mhm.
what's up, my peeps, and just like fascinated with these animals while everybody else is up there to like see the bears and the
Right,
whatever, and it's like I just always knew. So I'm glad that was good. Yeah. So if you get like a really cool lion type painting, or
right,
even if it's a print just to hang in your house, like it'll like definitely like get that vibe going and the power and help you groove. And but don't ever use your spirit animal as like a weapon.
right,
It's just like it is you, it is part of you. Like when I need to heal, I literally like in my psyche, I turn myself into a raven and I go fly. Like
right,
it's part of you. So turn yourself into a lion and go whatever lions. I don't know.
right,
Whatever.
right,
Yeah. But yeah, just don't use it as like a weapon or a shield or something. Because like, talk to any Native American, they'll be like, no, that's not how it works. Actually
right.
talk to anybody in Africa too. They'll be like, no, that's not how that works. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah. Anything else?
Um, you pretty much covered everything, man. Like the one thing I asked about the love thing, and you covered that. And I found out some cool facts I didn't know. So
Yeah.
you pretty much hit every point. So
Well, connect with Georgia. Connect with the Octurians. I'm always here for questions. Like you have my Instagram and all that. Just be like, how do I find these people? Or what do I do? Or something
right,
happened or something
right,
weird happened. I like just message me. I'm always here for questions and all of that. But
right.
like, um, share this on all your stuff. I'll get it loaded up on YouTube. I don't edit anything because I'm literally like, this is what the hell happened. So
That I'm
here
the
it
same
is.
way. When I do my YouTube, because I'm a content creator, I do
Yeah.
reactions to certain things. I'm the same way. Whatever happens right there, it happened.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Unless like, I don't know, earthquake happened or something. I guess
Like
it
it
would be
happened. What do you want? I
cut
couldn't
off.
stop it.
It'd be like, I'd be like, Okay, we gotta go.
Why the camera shaking? You hear the earthquake. That's why I had to run.
So, yeah, that's totally how I do it. Just so you know, I don't edit anything out. Just
That's dope.
whatever happens, that's what happens.
That's fine.
So, and if send the word out if you think I'm legit,
Oh,
send the
I
word
you
out. If you don't, send that out too. Like literally, I would just want people to be truthful. So,
no, you pretty much hit everything on the head and just find out all that cool stuff with the artifacts and history and stuff like that. That was just a bonus. So
yeah.
definitely.
So I'm gonna email you this PDF so you can like reference it and like look up these people. Like when I found out you were Wati, like when you find out about this person, you're gonna be like, whoa,
Okay.
dude. Like, wow. Yeah. Well,
Nice.
maybe it's just me because I'm a nerd.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing. I always say it's cool to be a nerd. I always say this.
Like when they
Yep.
got into his tomb, I was just like, oh,
Yep.
yeah. So yeah, if I should have been an archaeologist in another life, like Indiana Jones or some shit. I don't know.
Right.
So,
You still could be. Who knows? Who knows?
so message me with any questions or whatevs. I'll email you
Right.
this and then I'll get it loaded to YouTube and get you the links and all of that sent. So we can
Oh,
like hashtag and
oh,
make
I'm
contact.
down.
Okay.
Yeah, let me know. I'll promote it. Absolutely.
All righty. I will see you later, Desmond, and I will be on your podcast anytime, literally, because I had a blast. So just email
I'm
me.
glad. I was gonna ask you what was your thoughts about the podcast episode? How did you feel?
I loved it. It was
Nice.
like it was good vibes and like we talked about all kinds of stuff and you weren't afraid to like go wherever it was gonna go.
Nope.
It was like, okay, well, because I'm just like a here I am. Like whatever comes out, and if it's too creepy, weird for you, like if you don't believe me, like I don't even care. So yeah, that's just me. Yeah.
No, that's all good. My podcast is all about the guests and just making my guests feel comfortable. I always try to aim for having like my guests is in the same room as me. That's why I try to make it feel like so.
Yeah. So tell people because I'm gonna post this with what's your podcast called?
Okay.
Tell them.
Dez experience. I got it.
There we go. Does
Yep.
experience.
Yep.
So I will get the links posted, everybody, but I'm going to say goodbye, Des, and thanks a bunch. I will
Yes,
get
no
this done
problem.
really soon for you. I have to do metal fingers because, I'm a
It's all good.
Metallica
Metal
girl.
fingers, all that stuff,
But
man.
I got Queen on today. It's always like some
Nice.
rock and roll stuff going on here. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. No, you gotta be yourself, man. I always tell people that you always gotta be yourself.
Okay. Have a good one. Oh, sorry. I hit my mic again. I will see you later.
All right.
Bye.
Take care.